Hey, how's it going? Infinite broke man here. That joke is not gonna make sense because I'll just explain why. Because my microphone quality or my thing is gonna kind of sound not great because it is gonna fluctuate. The audio is gonna fluctuate a bit because my boom arm broke, so I'm having to like either hold it or have it on a stand. But with all that being said, it doesn't really matter. The point of this video is, what you clicked for. Really think this is a very interesting story. Okay, Reddit blackout. You know what has happened? I know what has happened. For those of you who don't know, basically, if you want to use the API, you're gonna have to pay something like $20 million a year or something like that, which is insane. And when I first heard about that, I was like, that's crazy. In response to that, a lot of the Reddits, many Reddits, have completely turned the subreddits on like private and stuff like that. You can still use, there are other subreddits that you can use that have not participated in that, but there are so many Reddit still just completely on blackout. They said that it's gonna be like 48 hours. As of right now, I did see an update on the Reddit app. I'm not able to see it, but when I do find it, I'll probably put it up on the screen or something. However, if not, then I'll probably make another video. This blackout has caused it so that Reddit is not able to pump out content. Reddit is not able to pump out content, and that is causing Reddit to sort of not be in a good spot. Reddit, I think, also tried to implement like some kind of fixes or something, and it kind of started to get better. But Reddit was pretty not useful. Basically, it was not usable at the point in time. And there was a lot of like significant amount of subreddits participating in that was not like a small number. Like it was pretty significant. Because of that, I feel like it just shows how dependent Reddit as a whole is on the community itself. Voice Critical Charlie made the same point, but it's just the truth. It really is. Reddit is nothing without its community. Reddit is heavily community driven, and if you think that they can get away with this kind of behavior where they are charging for API and stuff like that, especially ridiculous amounts like that, I don't think it's gonna fly with anyone. The other thing too is that I think even Elon Musk tried to do something like that he is doing that with the Twitter API, and he's charging, I don't know the amount, but it's like 5,000-6,000. I don't know. It's a still pretty big amount, but it's nowhere near $20 million or whatever. Now, the thing about that is that when you factor in that now that these two companies have tried to sort of make their API be charged and things like that, there are other companies or other products who sorely require that API that that makes that product useful. The one that I can think of right now is Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has a fuck ton of API based apps. The best one right now is DIM. Now let me make something very clear. I don't think that DIM or Bungie is gonna charge the DIM developers to use, they're not going to charge them to use the API or anything like that. I highly doubt that they would end up doing that. Currently, this is probably only the two big companies that I know who have charged for the API. But it still is a very bad precedence to set. I am not happy with where this is going. This is very concerning to me, because obviously Reddit has got a lot of backlash right now, and no one is happy with what's going on over at Reddit. Neither am I, and I think they're folding at this point, but I'm not sure because I did see an update, but I did not read it. Corporations pull money from wherever they can without actually providing value, and I don't know, man. Like, this shit is actually a bit scary. Other than that, it's one of those things where if you really show like, if you forget where your roots are and where you came from, what your main product is, you are gonna be fucked just like Reddit. Reddit is very community driven, and if enough people get together, they are gonna, your product is gonna get fucked because people post on Reddit. To give you an example of this, YouTube is also a website that's very similar to that, where a lot of content is posted by users, right? But the thing is that YouTube has its own shows. It can even rent movies. It has a bunch of stuff, like there are corporations that have their own thing going on. You have a lot of stuff like that. So let's say like one, let's say a sect of YouTubers private their videos or something like that. Is it really gonna matter that much? Because I don't think it will. Because YouTube is way bigger and they have way more going on than Reddit, far as I can tell anyway. That's not gonna really impact them to that limit. Unless it's like 50% of every single user on YouTube or something like that. This is something that if you take away from the community, I think that you're making a very big mistake. Now, that's true that there are a lot of corporations that or corporate products that use the API for free, completely for free. And maybe Reddit is trying to pull money from the corporations instead of individuals or something like that. But API is something that I think should be given out for free. And maybe I'm wrong for this. You know, any of you, if you have any insight, please let me know in the comment section below. But API is something that, from what I have seen, it's always a good thing to have a free API. So you don't need to have a fully open sort of open source program or anything, but having an open API is very important in my opinion. That is one of those things that I think you really, really should reconsider Reddit if Reddit is really not going to back down on this one. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And let me check if there's an update. All right, so let's look at this. Free API usage for moderation bots. Let's see. Learn about free API usage for moderation bots and tools in our latest Mod Help Center article. Let's read this article as well while we're at it. So, moderators have created custom tools to operate their communities using browsers, add-ons, custom scripts, and other tooling that uses the Reddit Data API. Our API allows free access to moderators and developers to create these tools for non-commercial use cases. Which, yeah, true. As of July 1st, 2023, we are increasing the API limits of our free API usage from 60 to 100 queries per minute for those using OAuth authentication. Please see our Reddit API wiki for more details about our legacy API resources, usage, and rate limits. The vast majority of moderator apps, the vast majority of moderator bots and other tooling using our data API will fall into free API tier. If you have a bot that is going to rate these limits, this limit is broken or otherwise impacted by updates related to API content, please contact our team. We are committed to working with you to find a solution for your moderator tooling. Developers looking to port over to an existing moderation bot to Reddit developers platform will be granted immediate access. Please to request access indicate that you need tool porting to insistence. Okay, so they are kind of bending the knee here, not necessarily completely. There are bots and like there's a bunch of stuff that Reddit the API is used for, but I want to really see what else the Reddit I might make like an update that kind of encapsulates the whole thing, which is a bit more of a structured video than just me getting on the microphone and recording freestyle, because this is just a completely me with not really a script, just a couple points I want to cover and stuff like that. So I wanted to see what really happens with this kind of a video. And the Reddit blackout, honestly, is something that I do see it as a good thing. But, man, this thing really puts the fear of these corporations in me. Not the fear. It's not the fear that they're going to come kill me. It's more like I just hope that this kind of behavior or this precedent is not something that keeps going on. I feel like the value that, at least to me, when I think of API, I think of immediately of Destiny 2 API and how valuable it is. And let me make this very clear. Each website or product or whatever you have going on has its own sort of value for the API. In my opinion, just to give you an example of Destiny 2, it kind of needs the API in the current state that it has in terms of its inventory management and stuff like that. It needs that. However, you can still play the game without it, but you're heavily limited without it. If you play the game for anything more than like a casual time, you really need that DIM and like those inventory management apps. But for Reddit, if they're not gonna let commercial users use their API for free, in a way that makes sense. But what I am trying to understand is that gonna affect the non-commercial users? Now over here, it does say that they are not gonna, uh, sort of limit the users who are just doing it with non-commercial use cases. But we'll really see about that, because something that happened with Twitch recently that was also very interesting, which also I want to talk about. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and drop a like and a sub, and yeah, peace.